Welcome to Info Pulse Hub. Today, we're delving into one of the most terrifying and unsolved mysteries of all time, a story so chilling that it has baffled experts for over 60 years. It's the haunting truth of the Dyatlov Pass incident, a case that has left more questions than answers and continues to capture the imagination of mystery lovers, conspiracy theorists, and investigators alike. It all began in late January 1959, when a group of 9 experienced hikers, led by Igor Dyatlov, embarked on an expedition into the Ural Mountains of Russia, aiming to reach Mount Otorten. This group was composed of university students and recent graduates from the Ural Polytechnic Institute, all highly skilled in outdoor survival and experienced in handling extreme conditions. Yet, none of them could have anticipated the terrifying events that awaited them. Days passed, and when the group failed to return on schedule, a search party was dispatched into the harsh, frozen landscape to find them. What they discovered was beyond anyone's worst fears. The rescue team found the group's campsite in disarray. Their tent, half buried in snow, had been slashed open from the inside, cut so frantically that it seemed like they were trying to escape something within. The hikers' belongings, clothes, and even shoes were left behind, scattered chaotically across the snow. The footprints leading away from the tent showed that the group had fled into the wilderness, wearing only their socks or barefoot, despite temperatures plummeting to a deadly -30°C. What could have terrified these seasoned adventurers so much that they chose to face the freezing elements rather than stay inside their tent? A few hundred meters away from the tent, the rescuers made a chilling discovery. 2 bodies were found near the remains of a small fire under a large cedar tree. The victims were barely clothed, with only their underwear on, and had visible burns on their hands, suggesting they had desperately tried to warm themselves before succumbing to the cold. Broken branches around the tree indicated that they may have climbed it, perhaps to look for something. Or to escape from something. As the search continued, 3 more bodies were discovered between the cedar tree and the tent, positioned as if they were trying to crawl back to safety. These bodies showed no external injuries, yet their poses suggested panic and confusion. But the most horrifying discoveries were still to come. It took 2 more months, until May, for the remaining 4 bodies to be found buried beneath several feet of snow in a ravine. And what the rescuers found sent shivers down their spines. Unlike the others, these 4 hikers had suffered catastrophic injuries. One had severe skull fractures, while 2 others had their chests crushed with a force so great it was compared to a car crash. Yet, strangely, there were no external wounds or signs of struggle. But perhaps the most gruesome discovery was that of Ludmila Dubaynina, whose tongue, eyes, and parts of her lips were missing. There was no clear explanation for how or why this had happened, and the mystery only deepened when the investigators noticed a bizarre detail: the hikers' clothes were found to be radioactive. So, what could have caused this horrifying scene? Over the decades, countless theories have been proposed, ranging from the plausible to the downright bizarre. One theory suggests a secret Soviet military experiment gone horribly wrong. At the time, there were reports of strange lights in the sky over the Ural Mountains, leading some to speculate that the hikers might have stumbled upon a covert test site for parachute mines or missile tests, forcing them to flee in terror. Another theory points to a natural, yet equally frightening phenomenon: infrasound. This is a type of low-frequency sound that is below the range of human hearing but can cause feelings of anxiety, dread, and even panic when it resonates with the human body. Some researchers believe that a unique wind pattern known as the Kármán vortex streak could have created infrasound that made the hikers panic, slashing their tent and running into the night. Then, there are those who believe something more supernatural was at play. UFO sightings were reported in the area at the time, and some suggest that extraterrestrial encounters or even abductions could explain the strange injuries and the hikers' apparent fear. Could they have seen something that no one was meant to see? Other theories venture into cryptozoology, suggesting that the group could have been attacked by a yeti or some unknown creature native to the Siberian wilderness. However, no physical evidence, like tracks or fur, was ever found to support this idea. While each theory has its own proponents, none have been able to fully explain all the bizarre and chilling elements of the case. In 2019, Russian authorities reopened the case, concluding that a slab avalanche could have been responsible, a sudden release of snow that is smaller than an avalanche but powerful enough to cause serious injuries. Yet, this explanation still leaves many unanswered questions, like why there were no signs of a typical avalanche and why the radiation was found on the clothing. The Dyatlov Pass incident remains one of the greatest unsolved mysteries of the 20th century. Why did these experienced hikers, well prepared for their journey, meet such a strange and horrifying fate? What compelled them to tear out of their tent in the dead of night, half-clothed, into the freezing cold? And what was the compelling force that led to their gruesome deaths? As new evidence comes to light and old theories are revisited, one thing is clear: the Dyatlov Pass incident still captivates and terrifies us today. Perhaps we will never know the full truth of what happened on that snowy slope. But the questions remain, echoing in the cold winds of the Ural Mountains, forever shrouded in mystery. Thank you for joining us on this chilling journey into the unknown. If you have your own theories or thoughts on the Dyatlov Pass incident, let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more mysteries, scary facts, and unsolved tales that will keep you up at night. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.